Welcome back to Real Estate Mindset. Today's video is gonna be absolutely bonkers. Now, the data is in and we're finally starting to see a very important trend that we need to start seeing that is going to spell out that we are headed for the housing market crash, correction, cool down. And what that is, y'all, is DOM, or days on market increasing. And what happens is the longer houses sit on the market and rot, the more likely it is that the sellers will reduce their prices. So this is a very important stage of this transition that we're currently in. We're going to jump into that today, you guys, by reading a Redfin article titled, "A Growing Share of Home Listings Are Stale as Market Cools." Now, I'm going to try to keep this brief. You guys understand, I'm not a financial advisor, even if I want to be, even though my bio is as Realtor, loan officer, instructor. And if you can, do me a favor, this is my personal YouTube channel. So please like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. And you guys, I'm so sorry that I have to say that every single time. It's what YouTube makes me do in order to grow my channel. And trust me when I tell you, I don't want to say it anymore, okay? But it is what it is. It's part of the game, the whole YouTube game. So please, for the algorithm, y'all, comment on my channel, comment on this video, like it, share it, subscribe, hit notifications, and also understand I love you and I appreciate you. Let's jump into this article right now. I'm really excited about these trends. Let's get started with this article. A dearth of buyers and relatively few new listings are leading to an uptick in homes sitting on the market longer than a month. It's giving buyers some breathing room while frustrating sellers. The share of U.S. homes that were listed for 30 days or longer without going under contract increased 12.5% in July from a year earlier. Put another way, roughly 2/3 of for sale homes were on the market for at least 30 days, up from 54.4% a year earlier. So 2/3 of the houses on the market right now are sitting and rotting as far as that 30-day DOM, or days on market. And DOM also is important so that you know how to negotiate as a buyer. Let's continue. That's the first year-over-year increase in stall housing supply since the beginning of the pandemic, and close to the biggest uptick in Redfin's records, which go back to 2012. The only time it increased more, 13.9% year over year, was in April 2020, when the housing market nearly ground to a halt. For this report, stall refers to homes that were on the market for at least 30 days without going under contract, were actively listed on the final day of the month, according to Redfin. So what this is clearly demonstrating is that demand is now lower than supply. So even though supplies right now, or inventory right now, is super low, it is historically super low, it is a problem. So even though the inventory is low, demand is now lower, and that's why you're seeing inventory increase, right? So those are the principles of supply and demand. And I hope you guys can see that here, because again, and I'm not talking about price cuts, I'm not talking about inventory. All I'm talking about right now is days on market, which is also a very big negotiation strategy when going out to purchase a property. Let's get back to the article right now. Okay, guys, now here's a little chart that Redfin made here, and you can see obviously it's spiking. DOM is spiking. It started spiking since January of 2022, it looks like here, and it is going straight up. And the reason it's going straight up is because demand is completely crippled. This bubble was made from hyper demand instead of lack of supplies. Let's go on and read this article and see where we're at with the DOM. Homes staying on the market longer is a reflection of the housing market slowing in response to a 5% plus mortgage rates and a shaky economy. Rates shot up quickly in the first half of 2022, reaching 5.8% in June before dropping slightly to an average of 5.4% in July. It has taken several months of buyers backing off and sellers rushing to list their homes before the market cools further to accumulating inventory piling up. The uptick in stall inventory is one reason why the supply shortage is easing. The total number of U.S. homes for sale was up 4% year over year in July, the biggest increase since mid-2019. That's largely due to homes staying on the market longer. The number of new listings was down 6%. People want to know whether we've officially shifted from a seller's market to a buyer's market. Well, there's not a clear line separating those two ideas. Wrong. Homes sitting on the market longer is a point in buyers' favor. Buyers can now take their time making careful decisions about homes without worrying so much about bidding wars, offering over the asking price, and waiving contingencies. And you guys, that alone was reason enough to listen to my advice. If you listen to my advice, you went out of the market starting around when I started doing this about February, March to now, you no longer have to overbid, waive contingencies. You have almost double the inventory. Shame on me, right? I mean, seriously, you guys, we're not in a market crash yet. We're not in a buyer's market yet, but look at how the market has changed. Let's continue. It's a different story for sellers who have spent the last 2 years hearing about their neighbors' homes getting multiple offers the day they go on sale. Now they need to price lower and get back to the basics of selling a home, like staging and sprucing up painting to get buyers' attention. So here's the thing, you guys. People want to know whether we're in a buyer's or a seller's market. And I'm going to say we are still in a seller's market that is drastically changing into a buyer's market. But here's the thing. Whether you know if we're in a buyer's or seller's market, it doesn't matter if you're not prepared. And again, you guys, if I could just stick to that, giving you guys advice on what to do as you're on the sidelines, as you're waiting, I would, but we also have to analyze the data. So again, preparation is this. Number one, stay on top of your local housing market. Local housing markets vary significantly when it pertains to pricing, inventory, and overall trends. So the number one thing you need to monitor for yourself, in my opinion, your own local housing market. And then after that, it's all loan approval and life stuff like credit, income, assets. Those are the 3 things that you need to work on while you're on the sidelines, plus also empowering yourself with the statistics of your local housing market. That is how you become winners. Let's get back to this article right now. And this is good stuff here too, because this is going to go into the 60 days on the market. Let's take a look. A look at homes staying on the market for over 2 weeks and over 2 months also illustrates the slowing market. The share of for sale homes listed for 2 weeks or longer was up 7.6% year over year in July, to the second increase since the beginning of the pandemic and the biggest on record. And the share of for sale homes on the market for 60 days or longer was up 6.8%, the first increase since the beginning of the pandemic. Although homes are staying listed longer than they were at the height of the pandemic home buying frenzy, time on the market is still historically low. The typical home stayed on the market longer than 2018 and 2019 than now, for instance. The big year-over-year uptick in stalled inventory is likely to stabilize soon, as is partially a reflection of last year's red-hot housing market, when homes were selling very quick. The typical home went under contract in 15 days in July 2021, close to the fastest on records. Prices hit an all-time high, and the total number of homes for sale dropped to a record low, driven by sub 3% mortgage rates. And it's those mortgage rates topped with stimulus why we're in this situation. Finishes. The share of housing supply that was stale and stable before the pandemic, with any fluctuations largely due to typical seasonal patterns. So the 2 weeks and the 60 days is also surging. And remember, you guys, this is a key data point when you're actually starting to purchase property, because traditionally, the longer that home sits on the market and rots, the more likely it is that you can negotiate and get the deal of your lifetime in the housing market. So as consumers, definitely watch the DOM, or if a professional, it doesn't matter, watch your DOM and go from there when it comes to negotiation. But also, you also have to look at the asking price. You have to look at the comps. There's a lot of things that are involved, but one thing at a time. And I can't wait to bring you guys through the intimate details of that process. But again, right now, what I'm doing is I'm sounding the alarm. I'm only talking about be cautious. I don't want to empower people to purchase if right now I'm saying be cautious. But again, the empowerment is on the sidelines by educating yourself, improving credit, income, assets, right? Let's get back to this article right now. Now, here's how I want to conclude this video. There is no longer a need to guess on what direction the housing market is headed. It is at record speeds, violently transitioning from one of the hottest sellers markets into a buyer's market because of the record-breaking excessive equity growth. That transition is going to break and crumble our housing market. And that's what I'm warning you guys about. Do I have a crystal ball? No, but I believe when it comes to the most important, biggest financial transaction of your life, you should side with caution versus optimism. Other than that, you guys, I really appreciate you watching this video. I hope you guys got some value from it. And if you're out there investing in real estate, you know I wish you luck and I hope you win.